Well, hello there. Welcome to Thirsty Thursday. Shall we grab our beverage? Let's do it. Now remember, first you skim it, then you get the gutter, then you blow. Oh, yeah. Ready? Ready? Wait for it. Wait for it. Fam. Now remember, as we pour the drink, remember the week that was. Remember all the things that you've accomplished, all the battles you've won, all the people that tried to take you down. And you just look at them, pour a little drink, and sip those cares away. This is Thirsty Thursday. 3, 2, 1. That's a knockout.
3, 2, 1, yeah, that's a knockout. They call me kamikaze, put you in heaven's lobby. All gas, no brakes, you can never stop me. Nah, no, you can never stop me. Yeah, cause I'm the power slap king.
Slap some, baby!
How we doing, fam? Man, what a fun week this was. We got approved for media credentials to go to Bare Knuckle. So BKFC, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we had about 2 days notice, maybe 2.5 days notice. And my sister lives out there. So I looked at my kid and I said, hey, you want to go? And he said, yes. And so I said, we should ask your cousin to come along. And guess what? She said yes. So we piled in my parents' Jeep, because you know the Tesla ain't making it out there, even long-range Tesla. I'm not sure that's a good idea. And the flights were so expensive. So we piled in the Jeep, woke up about 5 in the morning. We packed the night before. When was this, fam? Friday? I think it was Friday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Friday was the fight. So about Wednesday night we packed. Thursday, got up about 5 a.m. I loaded up the car so the kids could just sleep, and I got them in the car so they could actually do that, go right back to bed, and then we just drove. We got there it's about a 9.5-hour drive. I was thinking it was like 10 hours, and when I saw it was 9 and some change, emotionally, I already felt better. Like, oh, okay, this is nothing. We can do 9 hours, no problem. So we took off, honestly, right about 5 in the morning. And got there late afternoon. We had about an hour and a half to kill before weigh-ins. But it was fun. It wasn't what I expected totally, and then other things were. So let me explain. Driving there, get settled. Like I said, they had about an hour and a half to get to the arena for the weigh-ins. And the kiddos just hung out, got them, DoorDash some dinner and stuff. But the weigh-ins were cool, man. Albuquerque is a cool place. Like, it's such a fight town, and it's always been that way as long as I can remember. I mean, huge MMA hub, huge fighting hub in general as well. And going to the weigh-ins, you could see that. There was more people at those weigh-ins, I think, than in other cities. And they did it up, man. They had the whole production crew there. You know what I mean? They had each fighter come across. It was ceremonial, so it wasn't official weigh-ins. It was just the fighter gets their names announced. They come out to some music maybe, and then they stand on the scale, do the flex thing or whatever, blow the kisses to the crowd or whatever they want to do, and then they do a face-off, and then they just repeat that for the full card. And it was cool because there was enough people there that it wasn't overwhelming, and it wasn't like a ghost town. So there's probably 30, 40 people there at the weigh-ins. Got to see Jessica Borga. She was at the weigh-ins with her belt, taking photos of people. Excuse me, fam. That was fun. It's kind of funny because they do so many interviews, and, you only see them on a screen. So whenever I meet the fighters in person for the first time, I just say, hey, what's up? Joe Scott with Slap Son, and give him a hug. And she couldn't have been nicer, man. She's such a badass. She was like, oh, hey, I'll be around, and took a photo and everything. And then there was a few other champs walking around there as well. Mundell was there. Great guy. I didn't see Josh until the actual fight night. So a couple fighters were there walking around, a couple of the champs. Got some photos with them. And then that was really it for the weigh-ins. I thought there'd be, when the weigh-ins were in Salt Lake, was like Dave Feldman was there, the CEO, the owner, one of the owners, and like a few of the announcers were there when it was in Salt Lake, along with some influencers, things like that. But in Albuquerque, it was really just the fighters. But that was cool. So pretty quick, once it was over, didn't stick around and have the mic or ask questions or anything like that. Just wanted to say what's up to the people that I had interviewed that were there, and try and make some introductions of myself to the fighters that aren't so familiar with the podcast. But the weigh-ins were cool, man. It was fun. And so got that all done. The kiddos were ready to get out of the house, so we drove and found some treats and things like that. Settled back in. I ordered a little canna-bed for myself. I apologize, Moo, if your house smells like canna-bed, but that bed was not a taco. Nope. So that's good. I got them settled, got my canna-bed, and we just ate, hung out. We watched Dance Moms, of all things. Who knew? I remember watching that with Allie, wifey, and my tiny niece when she was really tiny. And who knew? Lucas was into it. His cousin Zoe was into it. And so we watched freaking Dance Moms, fam, for hours. And it was good, though, because it kept them busy while I still had some editing to do. When we drove in, it was literally a week ago today. And so I did Thirsty Thursday on the road in the car, and it gave me a chance to kind of edit that before I put it out there, which was fun. But Thursday was pretty cut and dry. We just drove, got to town in time for the weigh-ins, did that whole thing. Then we got back to the house, to my sister's home, and just hung out, ate some pizza, did our thing, had some treats, and crashed. Honestly, I was up pretty late the night before. And so waking up at 5, driving that whole time, and then going to the weigh-ins and then coming back, it did me good. I was tired. And then Friday was fun. So Friday, got the kiddos up, and they have like local pools around like a lot of towns, but one of them had like a water slide and things. And so we tried to hook that up, but it was sold out. So called my sister, said, hey, where do we go now? Because I don't know this place. And she had some good suggestions. So we went to another public pool, and they do sessions there, which is different. In where we're from, you kind of just pay the pass, and you can be there all day if you want at the pool. But in Albuquerque, they kind of do blocks, which is nice because, it was different, but it was nice because it's not going to be overcrowded, right? It's just going to be a set number of people, so it's not too overwhelming. And we had all day, so we bought 2 sessions, hung out in the sun. I got some video of the kid coming down the water slide, just hanging out, doing our thing. Nothing really more than that. And then we got done with the swimming scene, and it was time to go back, shower. Hold on, fam, my phone's ringing. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Don't they know I'm doing Thirsty Thursday? Come on, people, I swear. Yeah, so got done with swimming, took him back to the house, got him situated for food and everything like that. The night before and a little bit during the day, my girl Chelsea and her husband John, they're obviously going to go to the fights. So her husband John is actually one of the bare knuckle champs, flyweight champs. And Chelsea, obviously, we know from Power Slap. And so it was really fun to know that I was going to see them that night. So got home from swimming, got all ready to go. Never done something like this before, as far as like media credentials, the process of that. So it wasn't I was a little nervous, but I was way more excited than I was nervous. So got the kids situated, got all my shit together, got the outfit going. You know what I mean? I was trained very well with Allie, and drive to the Coliseum, Tingley Coliseum, I think it's called, and got there about 5. And, I don't know. So I just walk up to there's the little, call waiting or whatever it's called, window. And went up there and showed my ID, and they're like, oh, Joe Scott, here you go. And they handed me my media pass. And I was just like, what the fuck? If you're my age, then you know Wayne's World. And it was a Wayne's World moment for sure. I put that backstage laminate on me, and then I walked to the metal detectors to get inside. And the whole time I'm thinking, I don't have a ticket. And then you look down and go, oh, I shouldn't need a ticket. But then you're like, I need a ticket. But then you look down and you go, oh, I don't need a ticket. So you get there to security. And then I go to where they're, scanning tickets to actually get in, and that same thought process. And the lady just looked down, saw the credentials. She's like, oh, you're good to go. So walked right in, walked around. I had access to pretty much everything as far as the building goes, floor access. Can wander around a little bit backstage, but not too far. And then there's a designated media area, which was just like some plastic folding chairs, and then people started to trickle in. Met a dude named Bruce. He called me sir. He did. Let me pour up this drink, man. We need to get some more caffeine busted in here. It's like 105 degrees in this room, fam. It's like Donald Trump's armpit up in this bitch. Oh my gosh, we got to figure that out. It's hot as hell in here. So yeah, walk to the media room, but it was cool because look, we started the podcast, really on a whim. That's the best things in life. You just do these quick decisions, and it always turns out to be very memorable, whether good, bad, or indifferent. But the best decisions in life are always on a whim. And so yeah, on a whim, we started this podcast thing, and look, we're almost a year in. And we're coming up on a year next month, I believe. And who would have thought in that time? I've made so many new friends, so many new connections. I really do feel like the Power Slap is fam. I really do. I mean, yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. And then to branch out over to Bare Knuckle and get experience that way is so much fun and so worth it. And you learn every time. So like with Power Slap, we've learned a lot. Like we have this thing called Sweet Talks. And for the events in Vegas, we rent out a big badass suite and have the fighters come in. It's not very formal. They just kind of come up when they can and we interview them, sit down, do that whole thing. But every time we've done it, we've learned something new, like how to be faster, how to be more efficient, how to bring in our own Wi-Fi, things like that. And with Bare Knuckle, I approached it the same way. I had a microphone and my actual iPhone with me, which is for all you rogue podcasters and interviewers. That's the way to go. The camera on your iPhone is perfect. It's crystal clear, 4K, and the mic sounds totally fine. And you're very, very portable. So I did bring that setup, but I also just wanted to see what others were doing and get to know the process and how they, handled media, things like that. And they handled them awesome. If I would have, now that we know, if I would have brought in that mic and things like that, I mean, shit, man, they would have actually brought some fighters to me. Very accommodating, I would say, the Bare Knuckle fam was from the get-go. Asked all these questions, could have been nicer. The fights, they go a little bit later. So I didn't hit up the press conference afterwards. It was funny. During each, it was like, I don't know, it's just surreal. It's funny. During each fight, I had my little notepad out and I was, wrote down questions that I would ask the fighters about their matches and what, all the things that come to mind while they are fighting. And then when the results come in. So each match, I had a note for questions for each fighter, but didn't end up going because Lucas was getting a little antsy, fam. Yeah. I mean, I get it. They were at that house for, some hours, but I think he was ready to go get out of the house, have some fun. So I didn't go to the press conference, but by the way, ironically, they were passed out when I got home, so I could have stayed. But so I didn't go to the press conference, but it was so much fun because, I was DMing Chelsea back and forth and we're trying to find each other. She's like, I'm here. And I'm like, I'm here. And I sent her a video and, of course we found her sure enough. And she was like, I'm in the VIP section. And so I found her and, with the pass, you just walk right in, sit down. I was front row for all the matches. Well, probably all but two of the matches I was front row. Talking with Chelsea and John, got to meet her kids finally, which is awesome. It's funny, you interact with these people in the way you do, and then things can always be new though. And that was one of them. Like I had met her and John, obviously, but hadn't met her kids. But they couldn't have been nicer, man. They were so funny. And they found out I'm basically deaf, if not all deaf in my left ear, just giving each other, they're just talking to me. And I'm just going, uh-huh. And Chelsea's like, bitch, you just agreeing with me then? You can't hear me? And I'm like, sorry, I get embarrassed. But so much fun. And then actually, Jessica, she came right on down, sat next to us. So I actually got to talk a lot with her, which was nice, get to know her a little bit. But the atmosphere was cool because it really was, you kind of just roam, I made a lot of connections. I got to see my boy Cyrus finally in person. What's up, Cyrus? If you, by some miracle, you're listening to this, and just say what's up to him. And it was just validating because they gave you the opportunity to get a little bit closer to the sport, get a little bit behind the scenes to the sport. And I mean, obviously it didn't hurt that, Chelsea and her husband were there since they're so in that world. And they were nice enough to just let me hang out with them. But overall, they really were accommodating. I was so happy just running around. I was even saying that night, I was just like, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. And so what we learned was Next time we'll approach it the same way, but I'll just bring my little microphone, use my iPhone as a camera. I could bring in a smaller one, like a what are those called, DLRs or SLRs or whatever those Canon cameras are that Allie has. I might bring one of those, but lesson learned is super accommodating. It might change city to city, but it's the organization running the event, so I imagine it's very similar, if not the same. And I'll just come with my mic, prepped with questions, pull in some fighters, and just have a good time. From that event, I got to meet Josh Dyer. He became the champ when they were in Salt Lake, and he's coming on the podcast, another champion, So very worthwhile, very worth the time, very quick trip. So that all ends. I leave like I said, didn't go to the press conference, but leave the event so I can get home to Luda. They're passed out, and I'm kind of walking around in the house, kind of whatever, getting ready to do some can of bed so I can pass out too. And of course, they woke up. So we went to Sonic, and they ordered all their food, whatever the hell, did that way. And then when we got back, they went right back into Dance Moms. So... So that was cool. And then the next day we woke up not too early, but once everyone was awake, we got right back on the road, and we ended up stopping at, it's called Moab Giants. It's like this dinosaur park. Zoe was like all in a tizzy, man. She really loves dinosaurs. This is Lucas's cousin. She draws them all the time. She talks about them, and she kept dropping like subtle hints. You know how kids are like, look at that. Look at this, Joe. There's a dinosaur park. Oh, it looks like it's open. I would love to see that. Just like laying it on so thick. Fam, it's hot as hell in here. I would take my head off, but for the people watching, you don't want to see that rat's nest. And besides, you got to keep Allie's brand going the whole time. Stay strong. So on the way back, we stopped at Moab Giants to see the dinosaurs. And it was actually pretty cool. It's just weird to think about all that stuff, man. Dinosaurs, how they got here, how they got destroyed, how we got here, how we're going to get destroyed. But they let you have a little bit of behind the scenes with certain passes. So we got to go like where they actually brush off the dino bones. They let the kids hold a couple that were like, the guy said they were 128 million years old. Just when I go to that kind of stuff, it just fucks with my head. It just messes with my head. No one knows what's going on. No one knows what's going on. Like, we're sitting here trying to figure out if Epstein did it or not. And I mean, kids and killing himself. And it's just a distraction. It's an important distraction. Don't get me wrong, fam. But like, nobody knows what's going on. Like, it's just like, what? I mean, dinosaurs, cool. Evolution, cool. But it's just like, okay. And gravity, awesome. I just don't get it. I mean, it's super interesting, but the older I get, the more real and awkward all that stuff is. So like a walrus, when you're a kid, walrus, mommy, a walrus is just what it is. It's this big, fat, rubbery bird with tusks in the water, right? And then you get older and you look at that thing and you're like, what in the world is that thing? And why and how did we train it to wave to the audience at SeaWorld? Like, what's going on? And don't get me started on dinosaurs. Oh, okay. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying they weren't real. I'm not that guy. I'm just going, what's going on? And I just can't handle it. Anyway, I digress. Dinosaurs, walruses, they totally correlate. They totally do. So we did the dinosaur thing, and we drove all the way home, got home about 7 or 8 o'clock. I don't fucking remember. But it was fun, man. I missed my family, my sister's family. They were out in DC doing some touring of museums, and they took the whole fam to do it. And so we just missed each other. But now that I know the kiddos can stand the drive, and the cousins down to come with Lucas, because they really are, for all intents and purposes, they are brother and sister. They just love each other, hang out all the time. And so now that I know she's game to go, I think I'll be going to Albuquerque a bit more. Man, what else? That was like the glaring thing was the bare knuckle thing. It's so exciting. Like the podcast and all that. It's just so exciting because you really are in this world. Even last night, for all you slap nerds out there, or for my family who doesn't really know that world, I'll just tell you, there's a guy named Terp Daddy, Austin, and he called out this guy, Vern Cathy, the mechanic, and it was just this big thing. Like, and I'm interacting with those fighters, trying to get Vern to respond, and you're just like, you're in this, it's a niche world, but you're in it. You're part of the world. when we decided to venture out into bare knuckle, it's more established, much more established. So they've had a lot more events. The roster's bigger. It's just more, it's been around longer. So there's a lot more there. Whereas with Slap, we could kind of learn as we went along, you know, we could get to know people on the fly a little bit and just kind of grow with the sport. And then venturing off into bare knuckle, I thought, okay, this is perfect because I love both sports and there's opportunity in both sports to be a part of it. But you realize when you get closer to bare knuckle, even though it's hasn't been around forever, the fact that it's just a bit more established does take a bit more time to study the fighters' records, things like that. And I couldn't be more excited to accomplish that and then just go back and forth in these worlds, you know, Power Slap fam, bare knuckle fam, and just kind of go back and forth and just see what happens. You know, we're in it. We're not going anywhere. I mean, look, there's hiccups still. It's just me doing this thing. We get help here and there when we do sweet talks, and we're working on bringing on more help so I can just do this, look in this camera and record, and then in the background, all that stuff gets done. But that takes time. And the fact that it is just me, I'll give you a good example. So this card coming up for Power Slap has a ton of fights on it. And they're breaking the news left and right, left and right, left and right. And in the same breath, there's another bare knuckle fight going on this coming weekend in Dallas. And so before, where it was just Power Slap, you know, when there was a fight card, it got a little hectic, but, you know, pretty manageable. But now the Power Slap is getting more established and bigger and growing. On this card alone, I think there's got to be maybe 12 matches. Fact check me that, a Power Slap fan, but I think it's 12 or 13 matches. So you're talking 24, 26 people. You could pull it off if everyone was willing to just always come on time when they say they're going to come, stay up late. You know, basically you would have to get everyone on board to say, this is when you're coming on, and there couldn't be any hiccups. And then you could probably get like 25 plus interviews done in a week, edited out the door, thumbnails, the whole shebang leading up to the fight. So it is possible, but it is a lot. So I don't know if we'll be able to pull off all whatever, but we are going to pull off what we can. And we do have sweet talks in our back pocket. So we will talk to everybody. But that's just Power Slap. Now bringing in bare knuckle, you see the opportunity, you see the excitement, but it's like that again, but more often because they have a card, it feels like every other week, and there's more fighters to get to know. So anyway, super fun. We're not going anywhere, but that's just kind of the push and pull of it all. So maybe, hopefully sooner rather than later, we can get some help in the background to help us build that up. But anyway, enough about that shit. Let's go down the family line, fam. Family line. Dre, he got back from Norway. He's posting on social media a bit more on Instagram, which I love because that's my only glimpse into this dude's life lately. So that's fun to see. And in Norway, all the buses have they look like a smiley face. So he got a kick out of that. A lot of the stuff he was showing on social and pictures he was sending was just like him on public transportation, which was funny. We are losing weight in the podcast room today, fam. Oh my Lanta. I feel like I'm making weight for a fight or something. But anyway, he got back. It's all good. I've asked him to come up a few times. Hey man, tell me about your trip. And he's just doing his own thing. You know, he just graduated high school. He's going to go into college and he's being his own man, which, hey, it's better than him sitting around going, you know, what am I going to do? You know, so shout out to Dre. Shout out to his grandparents who took him. That was like a insanely crazy, nice senior gift. I think Allie and I just offered him our love. And at the end of the day, what's more important? A trip to Norway or love? I choose love. All right. So Timmer, man, he is just kicking butt, taking names of the car detailing business, 100%. His buddy was out of town this last week, so they didn't have as many clients, or maybe he didn't have any this week. But yeah, he's doing his thing. Like I said last week, he's going door to door. He's hustling up clients. He's hustling up experience. Because, you know, eventually you're going to run into that pissed off customer or that pissed off person that you're trying to sell them something at the house. And he's going to get that experience at an early age, which is huge. I can't tell you, there's so many adults out there, and maybe you guys can relate, but there's so many adults out there that they don't have that thick skin and they don't have that mentality to just water off a duck's back, so to speak, and keep moving. And the earlier you learn that, I mean, the better, right? So he's doing his thing, still playing ball. It's funny. The 90s fashion is coming back around. So he's got these baggy shorts and baggy shirts and a necklace. And I'm just like, dude, I know that look. I know that look. But yeah, he's just having the time of his life, I would say. He's doing really good. He's got a good head on his shoulders. Super proud of him. Lucas, he has recently discovered golf. Fam, I gotta tell you, I don't know shit about golf. I know Tiger Woods. I know that guy that makes the iced tea. Fucking Arnold Palmer. I know that dude. Growing up, I knew Chichi Rodriguez or some shit. You only knew him because he would do like the sword thing with his club, and golf is so bland and boring that like stood out, and he was famous because of that. He was a good golfer too, I'm sure, but like, yeah, I don't know anything about golf. And then Tiger Woods comes along, and the other reason why anybody's watching that is because Tiger Woods brought energy. Golf never had energy. And then you got Tiger Woods coming in. He's pumping his fist. He's screaming. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take you bitches. I'm taking the next hole, the next one. And your girl, by the way. Pizza, bitch. So yeah, don't know a lot about golf. But I will say this. He, like most kids, they get excited about something. And then most of the time they kind of move on. You know what I mean? I think there's more kids with karate uniforms in the closet gathering dust than kids using the karate uniform week after week after week getting better, if that makes sense. But with golf, he seems to latch onto it. He went to a golf camp. He hasn't really played. He went with one of the girls from the salon and her husband a long time ago. So maybe there was some interest there a little bit ago, but I know nothing really that stood out. Anyway, really likes it. He's doing it. He's kind of going for it. So we went out golfing today with one of his friends, and I'm just lying the whole time. I don't know nothing about no golf. I'm like, yeah, use that club. That looks great. Sip my drink. Your form's looking good, but maybe get your arm a little straighter. Sips another drink. But he's having a good time with it, and he's got some talent. You know what I mean? Like, look, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not in that world, but for an 11-year-old, he's hitting that thing like 180 yards, and it's not, going too far as a slice or too far as a hook, like that golf lingo. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. He's killing it. He's doing his thing. He's staying up a bit later. The Dance Moms has definitely carried over from our Albuquerque trip. Kid likes Dance Moms, and all I can think about is eating Ben and Jerry's with tiny niece and my wife while they watched it, and me going, "What is wrong with these bitches? What is wrong with these Dance Moms?" I never want to be on a reality television ever. It exposes who you are way too often and way too soon. You think you got a good head on your shoulders, and then next thing you know, they invite a new mom into the group. Chaos. So yeah, he's still doing that. Nothing beyond that really with Lucas going on. Allie. All right, we got to Allie. So Allie is quite nervous. She's quite nervous for good reason, because as I record this, the crew is coming to town tomorrow to film all her stuff. And I do believe it's all her stuff. So education, business videos, all that stuff is going to get recorded this weekend. And she has had her moments about it, but because she's just so excited, I would say, and it's been a long time coming, but it'll be good when I think she'll be a balloon deflated once all this is done. It's not anxiety as much as it is stress, because this is really important to her. And depending on how it goes, it's really important for our family as well. We put everything into this. People, everyone's got a cover to their book, so to speak, in their life. And Allie and I are no different. We've got the cover to our book. But once you start digging in those chapters, you find out different things. And I would say a big chapter in this book is just we put everything into it. I mean, quite literally. But if you don't do that, you don't find out. I say it all the time. You walk to the edge. Everybody walks to the edge in entrepreneurship. Everybody. Nobody jumps off. And we jump. And it hurts. We don't stop for a while. Who knows when we'll see the bottom. But you land eventually. And depending on how hard you land, you got to clean yourself up a little bit. And then once you do, you got to stand up and keep on walking till you find the next cliff to jump off of. And that can be scary. And we've done that a few times. And Allie's done it, a lot, obviously, in her world. I always stay in the background. I am very self-deprecating. Don't ask me. I don't do anything. My wife pays my bills and I'm good. Leave me alone, right? But I can honestly say with confidence. It is a team effort. We couldn't have accomplished what we have accomplished without the other. And sacrifices have been made big time. And I think the key to all that is, despite all the hardships that have come with entrepreneurship, owning a couple of businesses and growing one main business and now starting a new one that we really just know this is it. There's hardship there. But one of the big keys is you just keep moving. There's a meme of this older couple sitting on a bench, right? And it's pouring rain. And both of them are pissed off in the meme. But the husband has an umbrella and he's holding it over his wife. They're still mad at each other. But he still takes the umbrella out because it's pouring rain on a park bench. And he just covers his wife so she doesn't get wet. That's love, fam. That's love. And that's how you get through a lot of stuff, is you just, at the end of the day, you love them and you don't want them to get wet. Despite what might be going on amongst all that, action of putting the umbrella up, that goes away. Then you get your base again and you get stronger and you get quicker to say you're sorry. You get quicker to throw out your ideas. And the thing I've said for years now, especially the last probably 3 years, is just undefeated. Whenever we've accomplished something, or I just want to let her know I see her, social media is a big thing, in her business, her life. I guess it's becoming more of a big thing in my life too. But I just at her and then hashtag undefeated. Or if something comes up that's hard, I just look at her and I go, baby, undefeated. We are undefeated. So all that is a part of, and all that has helped us lead up to this weekend where she can film and get the thing out there that she's been wanting to do. And for whatever reason, has been shy about it, and it's going to be a big step. So super stoked for Allie. That's what's going down. We'll see. I'll update everyone next week, let you know how it went. But the crews are flying in and we're getting ready for it. We're getting excited for it. It is hot as hell in here. I think that's pretty much it, fam. Dad's doing good. My mom's doing good. I said it last week, but getting old it's just not for pussies. It's not for suckers. You see a photo of your dad and when he wasn't going through this, and they visually look different. Like not just like he's lost some weight and stuff, but for whatever reason, you can call it their aura or whatever. They just look different. And I didn't really notice that till we went to my sister's house this past weekend, because she has like a photo of my mom and my dad sitting next to her in-laws, Davey's mom and dad. And yeah, I just saw a picture of my dad and I was like, oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. And he still is now. He's just not, capital IS is, more of a lowercase as far as what you do. I don't know if you use past tense in this situation, but as far as what you knew or know, or yeah, I think it's past tense. It's not what you knew of him. It's just a new him. He's writing another book right now, and the cover still doesn't match the chapters in his book, because I said it last week, but who knows? Like I know you get told, and I know they know, and there's experts and all this stuff, but there's just a piece of you, and maybe you're lying to yourself, but there's a piece of you that just hopes that what's ever going on internally isn't a living hell. Because the words, like I said last week, what's getting baked up here isn't, coming out of the oven so clear. You know what I mean? And so there's a piece of you that hopes it's not a living hell for him inside there. But he seems happy, seems cool. Visited him a bunch this week. So yeah, that's that. Gwynnie, tiny niece, had her birthday. Holy fire, she had her birthday. And I got to tell you, real love, people always say, oh, I'd die for you. I'd die for you. I love you so much. That's easy, son. I'd kill for Gwynnie. And if by some miracle she's hearing this, Gwynnie, I sent you the text. You know what I'm saying? That's real love, fam. Because think about the consequences. Oh my gosh. If you die for someone, I mean, you're dead. That's it. You're dead. But if you kill for someone, oh my, think of the ramifications. I mean, you're going to get in trouble. I mean, maybe you're Dexter as fuck and you are a sociopath to the 10th degree and you justify it in your brain, and then you can slice them, dice them, vacuum seal them and chuck them in the ocean and then go on to the next. I don't think I'm that skilled at it. I'm just saying true love is willing to do something like that for somebody. That's real love. Man. All right. Well, I think that's it. we don't have time to go on my Epstein space rant. Been going down that rabbit hole, and I'll leave you with this, fam. Despite everything going on in the world, right? Who knows who's running this ship? You know what I mean? Who knows? Who knows how we got here? Who knows what the moon really is? Who knows how evil it actually gets in the evilness of life? We're still going to wake up. We're still going to do our thing. Make sure everyone's okay. Go about our day and realize, man, just make sure you and yours are okay and move on. All that other stuff is real, can be scary, can be not comforting. But at the end of the day, I feel super lucky. I live where I live. I feel super lucky that my quote unquote problems are putting everything into a new venture, working on my patience with my family, hanging out with pops as much as I can before it's too late, seeing my kids grow. And I just try and focus on that, because whether we're in a simulation and Epstein really did kill himself or not, who cares? In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. See you, fam. Bye.